Hey there, everybody. Matt Carter here.
And Jessica Carter from CarterMatt.com.
Oh, hold on a second. I think we're. Oh, sorry. I thought I saw somebody behind us. I thought it was maybe like the ghost of us from previous videos.
Miller!
Okay, just don't start the Miller. We don't know if it's a ghost. We don't know what it is. If it is like.
I don't care!
Proto Ghost Miller, whatever. This is.
Miller!
Okay, see. This is a weird time to be watching The Expanse because it feels like after season 3, episode 7, we really need to watch like 2 or 3 more to get a sense of what in the world is actually kind of going on here. But
yeah, things have changed, but somehow they have all come home to Miller.
Miller may be horrible. He may be like murdering somebody. We don't know exactly what. I mean, we're happy that Miller is back in our lives, clearly. But we got to see where things go. Before we talk about any of this, if you like this video, give us a like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. I don't want to wait on any of this because I think, number one, you will just continue to chant Miller through any other topic. So let's just deal with the Miller in the room here.
Okay, so now that I've seen what happened, and it was sort of like Holden shaking his head and then Miller went away, I don't feel like it's a ghost.
Yeah.
I'm not sure that it's Proto Miller kind of talking to him either. There's not really enough information yet of what is going on, if he's just hallucinating or what's going on. I mentioned a couple of videos ago that I wouldn't mind seeing him come back in sort of like a Dexter type scenario where his dad was kind of his conscience, would show up sometimes, talk to him, stuff like that. If I had a Miller like that, I would be so happy. I would absolutely love that. I wasn't that excited about Proto Miller. I would take what I can get. This is pretty good so far. Don't tease me. This better not be just the 1 second I'm going to see him because maybe Holden's hallucinating or something like that, and we're going to see all different hallucinations. Don't tease me like this, please.
Here's my theory on what this is right now. Maybe, because we know Holden has had some encounters with various forms of proto-molecule, right? Maybe this is sort of like radiation poisoning, where you don't exactly know when it's going to affect you. Some people can go like they're in, decades before they start showing any symptoms.
It's true.
Maybe he's got some proto-poisoning going on here, and maybe like a symptom of that is that eventually you start to see whatever the proto-molecule wants you to see. And maybe it's going to try to like communicate to Holden through
someone who means a lot to him and to all of us.
Yeah, maybe it's Miller. Maybe this is a way that you could see. I don't know. I mean, could you see Julie through this? It's not as though Julie meant a lot to Holden in the same way that Miller did. But, he's encountered Julie in some shape or form already. So I don't think you could fully rule that out either. But maybe it'll just sort of come to him in different forms. But what I wonder is, can the proto-molecule only access, like, people who it is connected to? Like, for example, could it bring in Holden's mom? What do you think?
I hope not. And I'm just going with that because I want to see Miller back. We don't have Naomi on the team right now. Yeah. Prax is gone, so there goes that. I was so excited in the last episode that we talked about because I was like, oh man, and we're gonna have May on the ship. It's gonna be so awesome. It's gonna be cool to see this, and all that's gone. So our team is becoming smaller and smaller. So even if I have hallucination Miller back as part of the group for a little while, I'll be really happy with that.
Let's not forget that I captioned the photo on the last video, Prax and Amos forever, and it seems like it's kind of just like Prax and Amos for one more episode, and then now we have to just listen to Amos be in his feelings for the whole episode and talk about how much he misses his best friend. Well,
I miss him too. That relationship was so good, and I hope that they'll be able to reunite or see them on comms or something.
I feel like if they're going to make a documentary, at some point in this documentary, there needs to be like that sort of like sad like footage of just like past Amos and Prax moments, and maybe you put like Sarah McLachlan music over it or something.
Sad dog music.
Yeah, it won't be the different song than the sad dog song, but still, I think you put something in there. Let's.
Okay, I need to talk about the documentary for a second.
Okay, the Office, the Expanse edition.
Yeah, because that's what it feels like a little bit, and I understand what the purpose of it is being on the ship. But that being said, I'm not into it. I feel it's really jarring for me watching the show, going from one point of view to this documentary style. It was really jarring for me. And I'm not enjoying that part of the series. It's the first time I've come across something in this series where there's an actual portion of the series that I'm not enjoying. It just because it feels so jarring for me. It was weird. Yeah, it's weird for me to come on here and say that there's something about the series that I'm not enjoying because I really truly love the series.
I actually don't mind it so much. Like, I'm not gonna say I'm not gonna say I like it as much as I've liked like the old Rossi crew or anything like that. But I'm just in my head, I'm kind of thinking, all right, maybe this is something that's gonna be there for a couple of episodes. Maybe it'll have some interesting twists to it. I mean, it does make sense story-wise, like you said, that now Holden is sort of like a celebrity. They're going to want to have something like this. I think the thing that I wish that we had in here was a little bit more of like the lead up to it. I would have liked to see like the contractual negotiations on this sort of thing, because it doesn't really feel like anyone on this ship is altogether happy that they're there.
No, I mean, obviously it's there for help and money or whatever. And I like the two people who are on the documentary crew pretty well. I mean, they both seem to be interested in Amos, and there's that. But it was too jarring for me. It felt all of a sudden like, meanwhile, in this other TV show, aka The Office, this is happening, and now we're doing this style of shooting in this show. So it was a little bit hard to go back and forth. It felt like it needed to either be all documentary or not.
I think what I liked about it is it gave us an opportunity, mostly as somebody who has basically already attended the Church of Amos in this past video, that it gave us backstory opportunities that I don't know if we would have gotten otherwise, including the whole, oh yeah, so we looked up your records in Baltimore. There's a mob boss there, by the way, who had that name. That doesn't sound good.
I think that we still could have gotten that story eventually if Prax was on the ship. I do think that he would have opened up to him eventually. It would have come around in an organic way that maybe not the mob boss part of it, but some of the other stuff I think may have come up.
Yeah, like, I don't think the documentary crew did that much for me when it comes to Holden or Alex. So I think Alex seems to be the one who's the most okay with being on camera, which...
Well, I'm sure he's probably not that happy that they were filming him while he was talking to Bobby.
No, not so much with that. But, like, I think other parts of it, I think he's probably a little bit more okay with. But I think that's just Alex's personality to me.
I think that might be a bit of my problem with the documentary in general as well, is that I feel that I have an intimate relationship with the Rossi crew. That I am part of this crew. This crew is part of me now. So the idea that someone like an Alex, who feels like the father or the mother of this crew, is having a private conversation with somebody else about his children or his child, about his wife, that he's being served divorce papers, stuff that is really personal. And we're getting it from that view of this camera hiding around the stairs, stealing this moment from him is just putting me on edge.
I think Alex probably likes it when the narrative is sort of spun in his way, where he can be sort of like the happy, heroic captain, but I mean, not captain, but pilot, and now it's sort of just being spun a little bit.
Yeah, look at my food, and now it's Rossi, Top Chef.
Yeah, oh yeah, no, I know, and now, here's my conversation with Bobby, and, there's, I don't want to say there's something there for sure, but there's a connection between the two of them that's unique, and I think that that's something that I don't know if Alex wants that to be public knowledge. I enjoyed a lot of this, more or less. I certainly think so more than you. I think the thing that I probably didn't enjoy as much as other stuff in the episode is mostly Christjen's promotion. Not that I don't like her being in charge, but more there was such a big time jump, and I think understandably I get it if we're going from, one piece of source material to the next. You sort of want to have some sort of space in between.
Yeah.
I think I get all of that, but I already said in the last episode I was not thrilled that Aaron Wright's story ended in that way. I felt like you could have strung that along a little bit further. And now it just seems like Aaron Wright's just gone, and then there's no more Aaron Wright for me to just get really angry at.
I feel like there's going to be another foil coming in. Okay. There has to be somebody else that's going to come in and stir the pot and make everybody miserable outside of what's going on with this moving proto-molecule now.
Yeah.
But having Christjen in charge, it makes sense.
Yeah.
But in some ways, I enjoyed her being kind of the shadow puppet master behind the scenes, controlling other things without having to really be in the forefront, that when things go sideways, that she's now going to be the straight up target.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm interested to see how it plays out, though. She deserves her promotion. Good on you.
Yes, Christjen she certainly deserves this. I mean, I think it could have been a good starting point for season 4 as opposed to season 3, because I think the thing that's kind of crazy to me, and sort of, I'm trying to put myself in the head of an Expanse fan who is watching this on Sci-Fi, dealing with everything that's going on at that point and being like, I don't know how much more of this show I'm going to get at the time that I'm watching this, and it just feels there was a lot that was crammed into 42 minutes, and I think a lot of that is the Sci-Fi restriction. Now that it's going to be on Amazon, I would, I haven't watched any episode for season 4 yet, but I would presume that Amazon's giving them freedom to make them a little bit longer. I mean, they usually do with some of their other shows.
Yeah, it's true.
I just wish there was 15 more minutes in this episode.
Yeah, there was so many new people that were brought in, and lots of different situations that were going on. Everything was just brand new, and now we're here kind of thing, that it did feel like it needed to be a little bit longer, or maybe a couple of these situations taken out of this one and other situations stretched out a little more so we can kind of get to know it better, but I'm sure we'll get to know everybody.
Well, there's one person we don't need to get to know anymore, and that is Neo, aka Ring Dude, who him and his this guy feels like if this was still on planet Earth, that he would be the guy who is recording himself skateboarding after drinking 8 Mountain Dews and yelling extreme skateboarding at the screen while he's doing it.
Yep, I do have to say I like his choice in music though. It brought me back to when I was a teenager and I used to love all my hair bands and my Motley Crue, and they were my first concert for everybody out there who didn't know that. Anyways, I was just when that first came out, I was like,
okay, this dude...
Motley Crue forever!
This guy is too extreme for me, clearly. I think I was, cranky even when I was a teenager. And, this guy... His whole goal seems to be, he is, the speed racer of the Expanse. He wants to be the person to traverse new things and go into the ring and live to tell the tale and go super fast and impress his girlfriend who's shacking up with his brother midway through it. It's just and then later on it's now she's realizing that you're doing something that's very noteworthy. Now she's really into you.
How was it not noteworthy that he was running the rings of Saturn, I'm guessing? That was amazing. It was amazing to watch.
I think this guy...
Not enough.
If you were still alive, Neo, I think you need to go to some sort of Expanse version of a dating service or something and find someone who loves you for you. Granted, it's not going to be an issue anymore, but...
No, but he showed us just how dangerous the ring is.
Yeah, this dude is now just mush, and I think... This is up there with Shed losing his head as the grossest kill-offs on the Expanse.
It was pretty,
Granted, I'm not as invested in Neo as I was Shed at the time, so it's just I kind of felt like this was probably where you were going. You were being reckless and kind of an idiot, and ultimately, you're gone, but hey, we learned something. The more you know, right?
The more you know.
So we now have Proto-Ring, which is just sort of heading out there into the solar system, beyond which, most of these characters are going.
Yeah.
That's sort of the interesting part of the Expanse is, so much of it has been set around Earth and Mars and the asteroid belt and, a little bit with Jupiter and Ganymede and some of those. But now we're, really kind of heading far out there.
Yep.
these people don't really know how to quite handle this. I think this is going to be interesting.
And that's why it was cool to hear Christjen talking about what I had been talking about in a couple videos ago, or even the last one, that the Mars and Earth and the Belt all need to come together. That this is a time that if they're going to deal with this, it's not one group of people is not going to be able to take care of this. They all have to come together. This is too big.
And we have other people out there who may be doing some work on their own. I mean, we don't know fully everything that is going on at the moment with our old pal Drummer, who now seems to be like Captain Drummer, and she's got a promotion. Good news, everyone. It seems like she's finally healed from what happened to her.
Yeah, she made a little joke about that as well.
Yeah, Drummer, good for you for being so self-aware. You've got power. You're leading the ship formerly known as the Nauvoo.
Yep.
You've got a good crew around you.
It's nice to have her working with Naomi, too.
Yeah.
I had been saying I kind of was hoping that either one of them would be kind of running the Belt, or that they would have some sort of power. It is cool to see them both having a bit of power in this. Drummer is such a great character, and so is Naomi. I love them, and it's cool.
It's a cool friendship, and here's the weird thing about it is I don't know like all the meta stuff with the show where you've got Fred Johnson and you've got Dawes, who are sort of like the leaders of these organizations or whatever. I don't know if it's a situation where Jared Harris and Chad Coleman become unavailable and they're sort of like, okay, let's tell stories through these sort of surrogates. But the thing is, Drummer is an awesome enough character that, calling her a surrogate is just downright disrespectful, because it's really cool to see her have her moment in the sun.
Absolutely. And it's also cool to see her struggling with that idea of doing things sort of the old way and trying to move it into this new era of the Belt. So it's kind of like what was going on with Holden for a little while there, watching her step into this new position and have to deal with all the things that come along with that you can't exactly do things the way you did. You have to play ball in a bit of a different way.
And she's got a new foil. Speaking of foils, we have Ashford, who I want to call Space Joe Montana, because he looks a little bit like, or Space Rossi from Criminal Minds. He looks like Rossi. And, but, I like Rossi more than I do Ashford at the moment. This guy is kind of a heel.
Yeah, a little bit. I mean, he's not wrong in some of the things he's saying when she was trying to space that guy, and he was kind of like, listen, man, we have to do
cool your jets.
A little bit of a different way, and Naomi was able to say, yeah, we do.
Yeah.
So there's something there, but I don't trust him. I don't trust you.
Yeah, Space Rossi, you got to get your stuff together a little bit here. You also have Diogo, and I don't know, like, Diogo seems to be just kind of back from nowhere, and where has Diogo just been off like listening to the weird like Eros music all of this time?
Maybe.
Is that what's been going on? But I think that's going to be a fun ecosystem to explore.
Yeah.
But we have one more thing we have to talk about here.
Miller.
No, we've already done Miller. We have instead superpowers. They're coming. I told you guys one season ago. Okay, I don't actually know if this is what's happening, but we've got
it looks like it. There's some super strength going on.
Don't mess with Melba. Melba means business. Melba is no longer just your grandmother's name. It is now also the name of this woman, and I don't really know exactly what's going on. We've got Melba. She's infiltrated Rin and Stan. And by the way, Stan is like the most normal name in the entire world of the Expanse.
Yeah.
Just sounds like a dude who fixes your car, but they are all on this ship together.
Yep.
She's planting stuff. It seems like some sort of explosive or whatever. She's got some nefarious purpose.
We know that it's not good. Whatever it is that is going to do is not good.
Yeah. She's trying to put on a front and get along with these guys, but she gets caught at one point in the act.
By a guy who just seems so nice.
Yeah, Rin,
don't worry, we'll help you out.
Yeah, Rin just seems like a nice guy. Yeah. And then, you get like this, like, she uses her version of the Force on you, basically, and it's not good, it's not pretty. I don't know the physical state of Rin. Can we do a wellness check on him at the moment?
Yeah, I think it's not. I think it's a no.
Yeah, it's not looking good, but I don't know if Melba is, like, a proto-molecule surrogate in her own way.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm very curious to see how this is going to play out and what the deal is with this.
Yeah, I really do. I have no idea what's going on with her, but superpowers, space, it's happening. You guys are bringing me the goods. And between that and Miller, you know, we have things to be happy about. Sure, there are issues we have with this episode, but in the end, let's just smile and enjoy the things that we have.
Yes, there were some issues with this episode, but Miller.
Right.
I was so happy to see him that it just overshadowed everything for me. There were so many good things that I did like about this episode, a couple things I didn't, but that just made my day.
All right, with that in mind, let's hear from you guys. Did it make your day when you first saw Miller in whatever form this is? Let us know in the comments. And if you like this video, give us a like, subscribe, and you can support us further by checking that link in the description to the Cartomat store. And we'll see you here next time.